Hello, hello, hello. All right, everyone, welcome to the Coach Harry Show live from Little Italy. Kendall, Grayson, Coach Harry. And Jacob Schnapp with us tonight as well.
That cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, it did.
The first time. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate
thank you.
it.
That was awesome.
It's the first time this year someone clapped for me. Everyone always claps for me, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It must be Christmas.
It must be. It must be. Coach, we'll get to the games here and talk about everything that's going on, but, you had a couple of games last weekend with Columbus, split with them. You had the 2 wins against Pee Dee the weekend before that, and got Pee Dee coming up again this weekend. So just real quickly, what you think about the games against Columbus?
I liked it. We played them twice now, and we were talking the other day. I think we've outplayed them for 5 periods of the 6, but we haven't come away with the wins, the 2 wins on the weekend. So a little disappointing, the 3rd period there on Friday night. But overall, I thought it was a good weekend. Things are, as we said the last few times here on the show, that things are starting to go in the right direction. Are they where we want to have them? I would say no. Things have happened that we're trying to get a lineup that's consistent all the time lately, and hasn't been the easiest. But as I said, for the most part, if you look at the weekend, Friday and Saturday night, pretty good effort. As I said, we got points when we had to, and as I said, I thought it was a very good weekend for us.
And we got Jacob Schnapp with us tonight, fan favorite.
The Schnapp Show with Coach Harry.
The Schnapp Show.
He said it was the Schnapp Show featuring Coach Harry tonight.
Say that
too. So he went with that right off the bat. So Jacob, back for another season. How's it been so far?
It's been good.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a slower start than we're used to around here in the last few years, but we got a bunch of new guys. Everybody's starting to gel out. It'll be good. We're fine.
Some guys, sometimes they're a little late and they're trying to get into the things, into what's going on. But no,
What's going on when you're me?
Yeah, and he's had a couple of injuries, but he'll be a big part of it. And as I said, our leadership group, and he's part of that. Just and the way he plays on the ice. So as I said, we're going in the right direction. We just got to get that last step, as we always talk about it. That's the hardest step. So, but I like where we're going, and I can't wait for this weekend. It should be a great weekend.
Yep, I agree. All right, we'll take our first break and be right back for the Coach Harry Show. Thank you.
When you're craving that slow smoke flavor done right here in Winston-Salem, there's only one place to go, Honky Tonk Smokehouse. From tendered pulled pork and fall-off-the-bone ribs to fresh house-made sides, Honky Tonk has it all. Not a meat lover? They've got delicious vegan options too. And when it's time to party, let Honky Tonk Smokehouse handle the catering and event planning. They'll bring the flavor to you. Stop by 145 Jonestown Road and taste why the locals here can't get enough. Honky Tonk Smokehouse.
What are you doing, bub?
Just fixing my chair.
You should call Contract Business Solutions.
Good idea. I'll give them a call.
Proudly serving the Piedmont Triad area for over 17 years, Contract Business Solutions partners with leading manufacturers to create innovative, budget-friendly workspaces. From design and layout to delivery and installation, explore our capabilities at cbsworkspaces.com. Looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate around Winston-Salem and the Triad? Meet Jennifer Sapp, your trusted local realtor. With nearly 30 years of deep experience, Jennifer specializes in everything from historic homes and remodels to investment properties, college town housing, and short sales. She's known for honesty, integrity, and making the process as stress-free as possible. Ready to make your move? Call 336-782-3148 or visit jensapprealty.com today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Coach Harry Show. And glad to be back here at Little Italy. Before we go, at the end, I always like to mention the upcoming schedule. I do want to mention, before I forget about it, that the next show here at Little Italy will be on a Monday. That's going to be on the 5th. There's 2 shows this year on a Monday. They're both here at Little Italy instead of the Tuesday. We already had the one, so that last one is coming up on January the 5th. So I did want to mention that before I forgot it later on. Coach, we'll get into the Friday game here. And, Gus gets you going there, 12th of the year in the first period. He has his 13th the next night. But you got the 1-0 lead. Jacob, of course, was out of the lineup and didn't play, but then I thought made a big impact coming back in Saturday, which was good to see. So you get off, you're up 1-0, and then that game, sort of turned there in the third. But what'd you think, the first 40 minutes or so of that game?
Well, anytime you go into the third period at any level, 0 or no goals against, it's a compliment to the way the guys are playing, and I thought Boris played well, and as I said, but we played well in front of them, and so I at the end of the knowing every time we play Columbus, we talk about it all the time, how those games, they're always exciting, tough games, and so as I said, to go in 1-0 at the end of 2 periods, I was really pleased. The way we handled situations, offensively and defensively, we had some chances, couldn't score. But as I said, and then I thought we played well away from the puck. So pretty pleased after 2 periods on Friday.
And so it's the 2 goals there in the third period that gives Columbus the win. The even strength goal tied the game there about 7.5 minutes in, and then the late one there in the last 7 minutes on the power play. Unfortunate, obviously, to give up those 2 goals, but overall, what'd you think about the game and not getting the win, but then being able to build upon that game and turn around, win Saturday?
Well, the third period, even most of the third period, we made a mistake. We tried to get out of the zone here maybe a little sooner than we should have. We lost the puck, and things that we talk about all the time defensively is, when you don't have the puck and it's not your man somewhere. And we made a mistake, and they paid for it, and we paid for it. So, as I said, even that play, and then I think the power play goal is one of those ones where, as I said, I think we'd like to have back a little bit, but we gave a great effort at the end there. We pulled the goalie. I thought we made some moves with chances there to put it in at the end, but we couldn't do it. And as I said, sometimes when you make those mistakes in the third period like that, they come back to cost you. And so, as I said, for the most part, pretty good game. And that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to realize that the games that we're playing against, you just mentioned the teams we play in December, the teams that we're going to be playing in January. There's no easy night, no easy game. So it's this shift or that shift can change the outcome of the game. And so that's how important every shift is. You can't take a shift off or say, well, geez, I hope for this or I hope for that. You've got to be precise. And I think it's exciting. I think the fans like it. It's a 1-0 hockey game. Now it's 1-1 or 2-1. So I think it's great for the fans. But as I said, we've got to learn that you get in those situations, you got to close the door. And unfortunately, we didn't on Friday.
Something that I think's been a theme here on the show the last several weeks is just how good your goaltending has been, no matter which one it's been. Boris goes 34 or 36 that night, and on most nights that's probably going to be good enough to win the hockey game. So if you could just speak about him, and we'll talk about Dyson later in his performance Saturday.
Yeah, we ever since I rolled into town just over 2.5 years ago, we've had great goaltending, and these 2 guys have given us a chance. We spoke about it a couple of times. Would they like to have had some goals back? Yeah, but we all made mistakes, or we all gave up some things. But as I said, for the most part, these guys have always given us a chance to be successful, and that's all you can ask for. And as I said, the guys play hard in front of them, and that's a huge thing too. When the guys like playing in front of them. And I've been on teams before where it's, that one goalie, it's, you're not quite sure. But these 2 guys, everybody has the confidence in them. I do. I've said that millions of times so far already. And these guys have come to play, and then they give us a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Jacob, you're not in the game there on Friday.
Yeah.
Where did you watch the game from? Where did you see the game from? Obviously, you want to be playing, but.
I watched a little bit of it. I was in the locker room helping Mike out when he came out, and then I ended up going up and sitting and watching the end of the third period or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And we were right in the game, and then it's just 1 or 2 small little things that, at the end of the day, impact the whole outcome of the game. If we clean those up, we'll be fine.
Yep. Nope. I couldn't agree more. So, Coach, we'll move on to the game on Saturday after our break. But before we do, I always like to give you the chance. Any more thoughts there on that first game on Friday?
Well, we're starting to get to the point in the season where we talk about it like this week here. I think it's 19 and 20 is going to be the games, and so this is the time of year now that we've let points slip away, and we're starting to get to that point in the season. And if you start looking at those that thing that's on the website every week, it's called standings. This is the time of year where we can't let those weekends slip, and we need the many points as we can get. And it's going to be a fight right down to the 56th game. And as I said, so we have to start grabbing those points as most we can, and not give those things away. I think we kind of gave away a couple points the other night where all of a sudden, we played so well the first 2 periods, but you can't give those away. So that's where we're at the season, and I think the guys are starting to get a sense of the last 3 or 4 weeks of where our intensity is and where we're trying to go as a team. So I like where we're going, and as I said, we'll just keep building.
And you mentioned it, but we were talking here during the break about the games that we have coming up over common opponents. With Blue Ridge on New Year's Eve and Columbus and Pee Dee, does it help at all having Binghamton in January? Does it help at all knowing that you do have some opponents that you've seen this season? And it's a little bit easier than having to deal with, say, 7 different opponents in 7 weekends.
Well, it creates rivalry. It creates it's nice to see them, but all these teams coming in, they're all good. Yeah. So once in a while you like to get a team that's not that maybe at the bottom a little bit, but we're not going to have that luxury this year. Every team is good. It's a great league. And so we're going to have to be prepared. It's nice to know that you've played against these teams. You know what they're going to do. Things don't really change a whole lot. They might get a player here, or things might change a little bit. But as I said, for the most part, you kind of know what they're going to do, and now it's up to you to execute properly against these teams and be successful.
All right. When we come back, we'll talk about the win on Saturday. Thanks.
2 pillows, endless possibilities. At Cotton & Crate, we make it easy to refresh your home season after season. Our 18 by 18 and 12 by 20 pillow sizes pair perfectly with our seasonal collections of interchangeable covers, so you can refresh your style anytime without cluttering up your closet. We're proud to team up with the Twin City Thunderbirds, celebrating hometown spirit and the comfort of home on and off the ice. Thunderbirds fans, enjoy $5 off your order at cottonandcrate.com with the code TBIRDS5OFF. Cotton & Crate, 2 pillows, endless possibilities.
Gwin Services has been serving North Carolina for over 50 years, ensuring the safety and comfort of our customers' homes. We take pride in bringing together the best electricians, plumbers, and heating and cooling technicians to bring convenience and unbeatable value to our customers. Life can be hectic. What better way to simplify than to have one company you trust to take care of all of your home's repair needs? Since 1972, integrity and customer satisfaction have been at the heart of everything we do. We are proud to have built a name our neighbors trust, one that provides peace of mind and a service that can be relied on, today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Thank you for trusting Gwin Services with your home. We are proud to stand behind the work we do every single day to serve our friends and neighbors here in North Carolina. We are Gwin Services. One call does it all.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Coach Harry Show. Thanks for joining us.
Whoa, it's the Schnapp Show tonight.
Schnapp Show. Yep.
Schnapp Show tonight.
Yep. Coach, we'll talk about the win on Saturday, the game that Jacob, you ended up playing in after missing that Friday game. So, that game was, for me, very different just in terms of the flow or maybe lack thereof. And I think that's something that we'll get into, obviously. But, how much did that play a part? I think I counted up 17 different penalties. And as I said on the broadcast, there was no roughing, there was no instigating, there was no fighting, there was no unsportsmanlike. It was just 17 penalties. What kind of part did that play, you think?
Well, first of all, I just like the way on the weekend, you mentioned about the weekend, and we started both nights off astronomically better than we have in the start of the season. And so that's a great sign that we're ready there at the start of the game. And unfortunately, and everyone oh, geez, we got a power play right off the bat because of an infraction. But sometimes those are hard to get into the power play that early into the game. But It was a distraction. And the one thing about our referees, and I hate to bring it up again, but when once you start that the way the ball is rolling with the penalties like that, I told the guys at the end of the first period, we've got to be emotionally and disciplined and very disciplined in our play, because I knew it was going to change. And I hate when I'm right. I'm not very right very often, from what the warden tells me, but but it happens, and we should have known, and we know it. And as I said, unfortunately, it went back and forth like that. So, but it does take the flow out of the game, and it's hard because at the start of the game there, I think we had 3 or 4 power plays. You got so many guys playing all the time. And so all of a sudden, some guys who don't play the power play, they're sitting on the bench. And then, the second period, then you get guys who kill penalties. Like, I think, I forget how many minutes there we went.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
You know what I mean? But and so some guys are playing a lot too, and then the other guys aren't playing. So it's a distraction. It's hard and guys who don't play, or the guys who are playing a lot, they're tired, and the other guys, they're cold a little bit. So, and I just don't know if it's great for the fans just to have power play penalty killing, power play penalty killing. And as I said, sometimes that flow really disrupts the game the way it is. And as I said, it's not a fun game. But as I said, fortunately for us, we got the win. But as I said, it was one of those unusual games.
And what ended up being that call there in the first period is that to start the game, they scored it as a pregame warm-up violation.
Yeah.
Did you hear exactly what happened on
Well,
that?
it's just you have to be off the ice, and I have one player from that's here this year. The last year got a couple of those, and
Don't look at me.
and it's not it wasn't
First
you.
guy off the ice,
I know
man.
it wasn't you. So normally he's the one with all the infractions, but no, it's no, we got it last year a couple of times, and apparently they came right up to me right after, and they knew it, and it's a tough penalty because a lot of times whatever the situation, but it's a rule, and they got caught for it. So that's how it kind of started off, and I think that's how the ball got rolling.
Yeah. And so just like Friday night, Gus gets you going there with a goal in the first period. All different than Friday night. Columbus evens the game up right there at the end of the period. So, after that first period, and you mentioned the starts being a lot better, what did you think after the opening 20 minutes going in tied there after one?
Well, the one thing that we haven't done as well as we have in the last couple of years that I've been here is we've got 3 or 4 guys scoring, and so I changed the lines. I don't know if people noticed it, but I changed the lines the other night, fairly drastic, I guess. I don't know if drastic, but like Nate Keeley went with Kramer and Whitey, and 40 went with our 2 checks. Yeah. And then we put TC there, Carter, in between Boots and Mr. Schnapp, who made the return. And those people don't realize that sometimes guys come in, and this guy here brings a lot of energy for us too. So those are the situations that, so we switched the lines, and then I had Boomer there as our 10th forward, and he jumped in quite a bit, and then I thought he had a good game. So we just kind of changed it, give it a little different flavor, see how guys can to play. And as I said, 40 scores with the 2 checks there pretty early in the game, and I was pleased with it. The goal at the end, I wasn't jumping for joy, but as I said, but those things again, those things happen, and as I said, the way we responded in the second, I liked it.
And I was going to ask you. You mentioned those line combination changes. That's something that you think that you might stick with.
Yeah, for now we will, and we'll see how long it goes. And the thing about it is halfway through the first period Friday night, if I don't like it, then we can change it, or we'll see what happens. And
might last a shift.
It might last a shift. So it just depends. So it's not something that we have to like etched in stone. I haven't changed the lines a whole lot, just from the way our team's been built the last few years. Nate was with Boots and Schnappy, and then we had the 3 checks, and then obviously with 40 and Mr. Baker from last year and Kramer and that. So that things didn't really have to change the lines a whole lot. Things were going pretty good. So, but I just think we needed a little different flavor, and as I said, I thought it worked out well. I liked the way all 3 lines played. So right now we're going to stick with it, and we'll see how it goes.
So Columbus takes the lead there early on in the second period, and we mentioned the penalties, and sure enough, it's the power play that ends up sort of making the difference there in the game. Just talk about those power play goals. Kramer got the one, and then Pastuca got that one. Then he ends up getting the empty netter as well. Good to see him start to get on the board as well. But just talk about those power play goals there in the third period.
Well, the power play has been, I don't want to say an issue. It's just one of those things that, with the skill that we have, the one thing I keep telling them is that we're getting chances, but we're not scoring. And so the time you always worry about the power play or, guys not scoring, some of the guys are like, oh, geez, I'm not scoring, but they're getting chances. And so eventually, if you just keep working at it and working at it, good things should happen. And as I said the other night there, we talked about it like during the week that, we have to move our feet and move the puck. Well, all of a sudden, one guy took about 3 quick footsteps, and we made a quick pass, and then somebody else jumped into a hole, and next thing you know, the puck's in the net. And I was like, we don't want to do that again. You know what I mean? Like we did what we were supposed to do. We executed well, and as I said, with the skill that we have up front, if they do that, as I said, I thought both power plays showed some finesse and gave us a lot of chances to score. So I was pleased with it, and as I said, that's something that we're going to have to continue down the road.
And so you win the game there, and I mentioned the goaltender. Dyson was really good. Boris was great the night before. So Dyson goes 27 of 29. And again, it's just I think it's we've been talking about it, but your goalie's very, very good. Dyson was great. I always like to highlight those. Give you a chance to talk about those goalies.
Well, yeah, he just had another night. Like he's. I think when he first got here, I don't think he was trying to find his footing. We talked about him before, where I think last year he came in here like a house on fire, and then this year I think it took him a couple games to get acclimated here a little bit, and the last few games that he's played, he's been really solid. So we expect the same out of him. He's going to go Friday, and we're going to see how it goes.
Jacob, you got the assist on that empty netter there at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's big. Right off my foot,
Off your foot. They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Yeah.
That's all they ask.
I was gonna say I asked Cade about his a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Yeah, I wasn't there. That wasn't mine." There's a couple questions I could ask, obviously, late in the third period, but one of the things I want to talk about is the fans and just how cool that is to be able to celebrate with them on a Saturday night after a win. We've done it a few times this.
Oh, of course.
Speak about that if you can.
I mean, without the fans, nothing would be the same around here. We do it for them. I mean, without those guys, playing the games wouldn't be any fun, So, I mean, we appreciate all of you guys coming every night, supporting us. It may not be the best start right now, but we appreciate you guys still coming, showing out every night for us, cheering for us as loud as you can, I guess. But no, I mean, without them, it wouldn't be anything. So we appreciate you guys and thank you for everything.
The one thing about the weekend, and just to jump on with what he said, the weekend could have gone south in the second period there. And as I said, our PK on Friday or on Saturday night was pretty special at the end with the 5-on-3 and a couple other plays like that. And this guy's a big part of it. And I think that gave us a little jump at the end of the second period there to tell them that we're here to stay and we're not going anywhere. And as I said, it's guys who come in. As I said, he came in, and people don't realize, as I said earlier, that the energy that he brings and what he brings to when guys see him on the ice. So we missed him on Friday, and I know it's. He's got a little boo-boo here once in a while, and we have to take care of him, and we have to baby him along here. But we love him when he's in the lineup, and as I said, he brings an element that we don't have a whole lot of, but that's something that we relish when he does it, and it's a big part of our team.
And one of the elements I'd like to talk about, because I think he does it maybe better than anybody I've seen so far this season, regardless of the team, is blocking shots and just a commitment to doing that. I think there's.
For sure.
Because again, that's not going to show up on any score sheet, but it plays a giant part in the game, I think.
The penalty kill. That as I said, that's everybody has a. If you look at Gus Ford, he probably a guy who scores goals and gives us that element. Here, Schnapp, he's got some big goals for us. Last year, or I think a couple of years ago, or I remember last year, he scored in overtime, and so he scores some big goals for us. But his the energy and the PK that we need. He's a huge part of. So as I said, though, everybody has something. Everybody has a role, and he does his very well.
And so that's the win there on Saturday night, Coach, getting the 2 goals from Pesty there at the end. Before we move on, anything else about Columbus? Because, we talk about common opponents, and we'll actually wrap up that series against them here in the regular season coming up after the Christmas break. We make the trip down there. So just, if you can, just speak about them. That series is, I think, even going back to the start of the season.
Yeah, they got a good team, and we just got to, as I said, I think we've let points slip away when we've played Columbus, and we've got to halt that a little bit, and if we keep playing the way we're going to play and the way we're playing, as I said, every game that we've played them, we've seen like we're getting better and better, and that's what we have to do. And it's still a long season, and as I said, but there's starting that 20 mark coming up here, and by the end of the weekend, that sense of urgency is starting to kick in here. So, and our guys have responded. I kind of, even last Friday night in Pee Dee, their coaches got a little animated before the game there and talked about some things and about the sense of urgency and things like that. And the guys have responded very well. So I'm pleased the way that the ball is rolling, and these guys have taken it and ran with it.
All right, we'll take a break, come back and answer some fan questions here on the Coach Harry Show.
Being your best is hard. You gotta take care of yourself. You got your husband.
Let's put in a pool. For the kids.
For the kids.
Forget the car. How about a motorcycle?
And if you own a business?
We need servers from, this century.
Yeah.
At a Legacy Federal Credit Union, we're committed to helping you be your best you. Whether it's with an unbeatable car loan rate, home equity line of credit, or small business help.
Who's the best?
Visit alegacy.org for our best rates.
I want to stop losing sleep over this. I want to know that surgery is the right decision. I want to protect what I've built. I want a plan designed just for me. I want to know that I'm in excellent hands. I want the latest and greatest. I want to continue to grow, no matter what life throws my way.
For the best surgical care, you want Novant. Novant Health. Best surgeons, amazing nurses, remarkable care.
Maple Chase Golf and Country Club offers the best in recreational amenities in the Triad. Come enjoy a meal at the Pine Brook Bar and Grill, relax by our pool and cabana, and gear up at the Pro Shop while sharpening your skills on our 9,000 square foot putting green and play around on our 18-hole Ellis Maples Design Championship Golf Course. You can find out more at maplechasecc.com. That's maplechasecc.com.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Coach Harry Show. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so this is, as I've said, my favorite part of this show, no doubt about it. We get to learn more about our guest players. I do appreciate hearing from you, Coach, but I know the fans, they love it. They love it. All right, so Schnapp, we're just going to run down the list here. Some of these are quick. Some of them you can take a little bit of time, whatever. But this first one says, what's your favorite part about playing hockey?
I mean, playing with all the guys, all the teammates we have. All of the time away from not technically away from the rink, but all the time together on the bus and all that stuff. That's what we're all going to miss the most.
Yeah. And I think that's a pretty popular answer when we ask the guys, what are, some of the, be careful here, please, but what are some of the conversations like with the other players? Because that's kind of what you're known for, of many things. When you're out there on the ice,
Could be anything, Played in the league now for a while, so. Yeah. You get to learn a couple of the guys here and there. You learn some personal things about guys that maybe they might not like so much, but it happens.
The coach has learned a lot of things over the last 2.5 years. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, he's I played with some guys that chirped a lot, and I think Schnappy and Mr. Baker probably take right up there. But the Schnapp. Mr. Schnapp here, he comes out with some good ones, as I said, and Sometimes sitting on the bench, you don't want to start chuckling, but
Oh yeah.
it can be sometimes pretty an eye opening too. Sometimes you're like this, but it's a lot of fun.
I've seen a couple smirks from him. I turn around, he's smiling.
That's really why you're doing it, right? Just to
Of
try to get
course.
him relaxed. This one says, who do you like to room with on the road?
I mean, I haven't roomed with too many. I mean, I used to room with Boots way back in the day, and then before that, it was Blake Peavy forever for the longest time. Yeah. But I mean, this year I've only roomed with Hippo and now Blumquist. So, but I mean, I don't care who I room with for the most part. Besides Gus, Gus can't stand my snoring. So, yeah.
We've been filming the Cup of Joe segments with Joe Cangelosi, and that was actually Gus was on this week. You'll see it later this week. That may have been mentioned on the show.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, he refused to room with me after the first night. Said I can't do it.
That's essentially what he said. What's your favorite hype song?
Oh God. I'm in the locker room right now. Probably Pump It Up. Yeah.
Okay. Spirit animal.
Spirit Animal. Wow.
That's not one of my favorites, is it?
What, the song?
Yeah.
You don't like any of the songs. Man. You don't like any. I don't know. Let's go with a lion.
Okay.
Why not?
That'll work. Do you have a favorite sweet, favorite dessert, anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I'm a little bit of a gummy guy, but not too much of a sweets guy.
Favorite movie?
See, that's the one thing. I'm not a big movie guy
I'm
at
with
all.
you on that. Yes.
Yeah, like Boots and some of the other guys, they have lists of 1,000 movies. Probably like The Sandlot's a good movie.
Okay. It is.
Good choice.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
I've seen that one. What team do you look forward most to play? Is there a single team that you just, for whatever reason?
I mean, I love playing Columbus in Columbus, honestly. Okay. Yeah, I love going down there. I mean, everybody down there hates me for the most part, so it's fun to go down there. When the whole ring's yelling, "Schnapp, you suck," it's pretty cool to go down there.
I think it's in Mississippi too. They had the player. I walked out one night, and this is the guys had come off before warm up, and I just outside, and I look up in the jumbotron, and there's a picture of Schnappy, and I was okay like this. And I forget what the comment was, or the player we hate the most on the other team, or something like that. But that I've always said when you go to an opponent's building and people are chirping you and doing like that. I always used to love it, and when you do that, you've got them. And as I said, that's when you can just you skate around and kind of smile and just know that you've got their number, because they just it irritates them. So and not that I was that much of a chirper, but as I said, I love when they're chirping him, because I know that he's got their number.
Yeah. This question says, now that the season's, you mentioned the number of the games coming up, all kind of settled in here. What's the typical week like? And it says all three of us, but Coach, if you just want to speak about, just kind of what the routine is, Monday through Friday, what it looks like for a typical week for you guys.
Well, we've kind of changed it up. Actually, this week here we had an optional on Monday, and a lot of times on Monday we either do a circuit or we do hot yoga, and I really believe in when you do come to practice, it's time to come to work. And so it's really hard, and I've always been this way, that it's hard to practice 4 or 5 days in a row and then try to play games on the weekend. I think a lot of times you waste your best on Wednesday and Thursday preparing. So I'd like to come in and I thought we had a great practice today. It was a little loose. The boys were good. We played some games. It was competitive. And I liked it. And then Wednesday, Thursday, you start gearing up, and hopefully by Friday and Saturday that you're geared up to play. And so I think the guys in the last couple of years have enjoyed that. Where a lot of times Sundays are off, and Mondays are days where as I said, this year here we've kind of switched things around a little bit. I've done a couple of optionals now, or we've done yoga, or just different things. So I'm trying to change it up so to give us a little different flavor. But as I said, over the years that coaching and everything like that. A couple of times I've skated Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and all of a sudden Friday everybody's like this. They can't go, and because you're trying to gear up all the time, and it's hard. And with the schedule that we have, so the guys know that. Wednesday and Thursday, it's time to put the hammer down and come to work. And as I said, so far it's worked for us. And as I said, so that we'll continue to do it.
Jacob, do you have a routine yourself, away from the rink? Do you just kind of do the same sort of thing every day, or does it change up for you as well?
Yeah, I kind of do.
You're busy cleaning house a lot, apparently.
Of course, always. Busy doing everything.
Okay.
I'm in the gym a lot too. Twice a day with boots. Yeah.
We'll go to the next question here. It says, who's your favorite teammate that you have? Who's your favorite on the team?
This year? It's hard to pick a favorite. I mean, I like all the guys, obviously. You play with some of the guys for a long time, so you make better relationships with some of them than others. But, I can't really pick a favorite,
This one says, who on the team smells the worst after the games?
I don't know. I only sit in my little corner with Boots and Mikey and Whitey,
Pretty much those guys.
Yeah, I pick Mikey then.
Let's just say the whole room's not very good the next morning. When they leave, I'll tell you, you walk in, as I've mentioned before, where it's, when I played, I never did. I thought it was okay, and then all of a sudden you start coaching, it's like, woof, and then in the mornings after, we played and, they got the heaters going and the fans going. You walk in there the next morning.
Smells good.
It's not very good.
Oh, yeah.
It's not very good. So, yeah. So that's one thing I don't miss.
There may be a story behind this. I don't know. Let's see. It says, is it true that when playing a game at Boots and Alana's bridal shower, you were beaten by a 13-year-old girl in the game?
Maybe, yeah, probably for sure. I'm not going to lie, I don't even remember that, but probably, yeah, for sure.
Next one here, what kind of adrenaline rush do you get when you check someone, or it says here board someone, which of course you never do. If you do, it's legal. So
of course, yeah, I always try to stay between the lines. I don't know. It depends on who it is sometimes too. Some guys you get a little more adrenaline out of hitting them into the boards than others. Yeah, I don't know. I love doing it, so.
That's as much energy as he brings, and him and I talk about it a lot. That sometimes the coach has to give a little needle here every once in a while just to make sure that he does that. Because again, what people I talk about momentum. I talk about pushing teams back and how important that is. I can remember 2 or 3 games this year already where that first period there, I think he had 3 hits the first period, the first shift, and I see the energy and I see the way we're playing after that, and they might not score, but then we might score a couple shifts later, and then it says, oh geez, Sally scored or something like that. But it's the energy that he brings and the energy that line sometimes brings that set the tempo for that. So that's I think sometimes he gets a little tired of me giving him the needle that we needed every time, but that's as I said, that's a big part of it.
Next question: who is the hardest FPHL team to beat? And maybe that varies year to year, but who's been the toughest opponent here lately?
You going or am I going?
You go.
Yeah, either one.
I don't know. I guess in the past couple of years, I guess you could say Binghamton, just because we haven't figured that one out yet. But playing them this year, I wasn't even really that too much concerned with them. Athens obviously looks pretty good, but there's some teams we haven't played yet. Monroe's going to be pretty good. We need to see them in a game. They've been putting up. They've put up 11 or 12 goals in a game this year, so we're gonna have to figure that out when we play them. But I don't know for right now. I'd have to say Athens, but we played games with them. We gave up a game against them already, so we can play against anybody in the league.
Yeah, we talk about the league and how good it is, and so there's no nights off. There's no soft opponents coming in. So I just think that's great for the league, but it's great for the fans. And as I said, so every night. So as he said, I think we let Athens slip a little bit. Columbus, I think, is good, the same as Monroe. But and Bingo, I thought we played a very good game in there. So can we compete with everybody? Yeah, we can compete. We just gotta be play at a certain level for 60 minutes. And as I said, that's where we're getting to.
This question for Jacob, it says, how old are you and when did you start playing hockey?
I'm 25 now, but I didn't start playing ice hockey until I was 13-ish. But I started playing roller hockey when I was 7, so, yeah.
That's a good one. This next question is, what is Santa going to bring you for Christmas?
I have no idea. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Hopefully something.
Coach, what about you?
I've heard coal or something. I'm not sure. But no. You know what? There's nothing I want. What I want is for us to be better as a team, and I want everyone to have a happy holidays and a great New Year. So,
Christmas Day.
but for the most part, as I said, I just want to wake up every morning and be ready to go and have some fun.
This next question says, is there anyone you wouldn't want to room with on the road?
Coach.
I mean, yeah. For sure. Coach.
Will never happen.
Coach, maybe Kev. Kev's a really loud guy when he wants to be, in the middle of the night on the bus. He's standing right there, right next to Coach. He's only about 3 feet away, and you can hear him all the way in the back of the bus screaming his head off.
Yeah, okay. This one is a great question. Maybe my favorite of the night that we've had. What was it like getting to punch Trevor Babin?
It's not the first time it's happened, so. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure me and him, if you go back and look at the last 5 years or whatever, me and him have fought 3 times, I think. Yeah, I mean, when he was in Motor City, I remember he jumped me one other time, and then I jumped him another time, and then he got me back this third time, so I guess the next one I owe him. But, I mean, I don't know. I love playing against him. He always me and him go at it the whole game. Even Saturday night we were talking. We talked a couple times about fighting again to see what would happen, but, yeah, but I don't know. He's a good guy.
Yep. This one goes back to kind of routines, and you mentioned just kind of week to week. It could vary, but do you have a specific pregame routine? Is there something that you always eat? Is there something you always do?
I mean, for eating, no. For the most part, no. But I'm now, a little bit since last year. I mean, I do go outside and run around or whatever before the games and everything. Now, been starting to play a little bit more sewer with the guys, but besides that, nothing really crazy for me. Besides taping my sticks, I'm a weirdo with my sticks. That's about it.
This is a really good question, too. Who was your favorite hockey player growing up?
Ovechkin. Okay. Yeah. Play just like him.
Not a bad player.
Yeah, not a bad player at all. That's right. What's a moment that you've had on the ice that you'll never forget?
Oh, man. A lot of them, for sure. I mean, anywhere from line brawls with the guys here on this team to, I mean, when I was younger, winning, national championships and stuff with my little buddies back when we were kids. But, I mean, all of it all. I'm not going to remember everything, but I'll probably remember. I mean, I'll actually always remember when we got into the fight with Watertown and Rutledge was throwing water bottles and Cangelosi was throwing water. Yeah, that was a big one. That was fun, yeah.
Actually, I watched that because my son,
I was playing against Andrew, yeah. Yeah.
Last one that we have here for the night. Who is most likely to forget their gear?
Sally.
Okay.
Easy.
All right.
One of my favorite moments is and the team we had there, and I forget, it was either the first or second year, and he scored an overtime goal, and 3-on-3, and he drove the net and made a great play, and I remember it because, as I said, sometimes he doesn't get on all the time in overtime there, but he went out there and, as I said, did a power move right to the net, and if he did that more often, I think he'd even get more goals than he does right now. So I remember that. It was an awesome play, and I was very proud of him.
Very nice moment. All right, well, that will do it for our questions with the fan segment. We'll take one final break, come back and preview the upcoming games. Thank you.
Flow Offer to Purchase makes it easy for you to generate an appraisal for a vehicle online in under 5 minutes. You can confidently use Flow Offer to Purchase to determine your vehicle's trade-in value or to get a real offer to sell it to us. Here at Flow, we've always had a transparent, interactive appraisal process that our customers love. We developed our Flow Offer to Purchase tool to offer you that same great experience online or through our Flow Garage app anytime, anywhere. Using Flow Offer to Purchase is simple. Either enter your license plate number or VIN, and the system will pull up basic information about your vehicle. Some vehicles have options or extras that need to be selected in order to pull an accurate value. Then just tell us about the current condition of a few things like your tires, dents and scratches, or mechanical issues. From there, a real offer on your vehicle, whether you buy from us or not, is just a click away. Just a heads up, our staff will check over your vehicle to ensure your Flow Offer to Purchase is accurate. Your satisfaction is our priority. Flow Automotive dealerships have processed tens of thousands of vehicles using Flow Offer to Purchase, which has resulted in buying many thousands of cars from customers. Try Flow Offer to Purchase for free today. You can access this tool by clicking Sell Trade on flowauto.com or your dealer site by starting the Sell Trade dialog in the center of the homepage.
Finish strong. Start here. Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
All right, everyone, welcome back for our final segment. Coach, we always talk about what's coming up on the weekend, and just like we had 2 weekends ago, the exact same schedule at Pee Dee on Friday, home against the IceCats on Saturday, a team that you've seen a lot of already. You're going to continue to see a lot of that team, 13 games between you two this season. I know that they have at least one suspension, that they'll have a key player out of the lineup for them. What do you think about Pee Dee? I know I've asked you this question here over the last couple of weeks, it seems like.
Well, they're still a good hockey team. They might lose one guy, but as Boots always says, it's an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity. So, but no, they're and we talked about this here. That's the type of team that we mentioned this again. We could be up 4-1 with 2 minutes left in the game. They could score 2 goals very quickly on you, and that's the way they feed off each other, and that's the way they play. So, but no, I think we match up great against them. I think the guys feel confidence about them, and but do we have to play well? Do we have to come out and play our best game? No question, and stick to what we want to do, and. If we do that, the last time we went into Pee Dee there, I thought we jumped out early, and I thought we played a great game. We kind of bent there a little bit, again with penalty trouble, which is unusual, but we penalty trouble there. So, but it's a game that we have to. If we play the way we can play, then it's going to give ourselves a chance to be successful. So that's the only thing you can ask for.
Yeah. We'll come back home on Saturday. We have the 6:05 start. It's going to be Polar Express night. The full promotional schedule, by the way, is on the website. Click on schedule and drop down from there, so you can see that. But wear your pajamas. Santa will be at the game. There's going to have $2 hot dogs for that game. So a lot going to go on coming up on Saturday. Coach, before we go, Jacob, you as well. You've been a great guest. Anything else you guys would like to say before we end the show tonight?
Well, first of all, Coach is not wearing his pajamas. Okay, okay. So Coach will not be wearing pajamas, but it'll be interesting to see what people do. But that's great. But no, as I said, I'm looking forward to it. Every weekend, I look forward to how we respond to we had a good weekend. We won 2, and then I thought we had a pretty good weekend last weekend, and then how are we going to respond here like that this weekend? So I get excited about the response of how we're going to play and how the guys are going to react to certain situations, and we're getting better. And so that's what I'm looking for. And we're playing a great team, so we're going to have to come bring everything we got. And so, but that's the exciting. We talk about it all the time. It's no fun winning 9-0. I enjoy games that you have to be competitive, and that's what it's going to be like this weekend.
Jacob, anything from you before we go?
I just hope the lights are fixed down there this weekend.
I think they will be. That's what I hear. It's going to be a little brighter down there.
It was a little. I felt like it was dark in there, so it was. But hopefully that gets fixed, and it is fixed.
Or else I'm wearing my glasses this weekend.
You might have to. So, but looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming. This has been the Coach Harry Show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Schnapp Show.